the Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Donkey of the Day for Tuesday, January 17th goes to ex-Alabama basketball player Darius Miles and his friend Michael Lynn Davis. Let's get right to it on this Tuesday. Darius Miles allegedly killed a woman because she wouldn't talk to him. Rest in peace to Jamea Jonay Harris, 23 years old, mother of a 5-year-old. No longer here because of a man's fragile ego. This is one of those days where I know Donkey of the Day isn't strong enough, because Donkey of the Day is when someone gets the credit they deserve for being stupid. But most of the time, stupid is just temporary. You know what I mean? But in a situation like this, Darius Miles let temporary feelings, temporary stupidity cause him to make a permanent decision. Okay, one that left a young queen dead forever and will cause this 21-year-old to go to jail for probably the rest of his life for capital murder. Would you like to hear what happened? Well, let's go to NBC 13 for the report, please.
I swear, I love you more than you imagine.
A story that's getting a lot of attention tonight. A University of Alabama basketball player, one of 2 suspects charged in an overnight homicide. Now, police say a Birmingham woman was killed in that shooting on the Tuscaloosa Strip. WVTM 13's Chip Scarborough is live in Tuscaloosa tonight with more on a possible motive for this case. Chip?
Well, Jarvis, the Tuscaloosa Violent Crimes Unit says the shooting appears to be the result of some sort of argument between the victim and the suspects here along the Strip about 2 o'clock this morning. Now, former University of Alabama basketball player Darius Miles being taken to jail late this afternoon. Authorities say Miles and Michael Davis are charged with capital murder. Investigators say the victim, Jamea Jonay Harris, later showed up to the Walk of Champions at Bryant-Denny Stadium, where a UA police officer was stationed. The car she was in had been shot into, and both suspects are in the Tuscaloosa County Jail tonight, charged with capital murder.
Jamea Jonay Harris, rest in peace, man. Stories like this make me terrified for the women in my life, not just my wife and my 4 daughters, but every single woman in my orbit that I love and adore. Women that aren't in my orbit, women that I don't even know. I feel sorry for y'all, because this is an experience that men don't have to deal with too often. Yes, there have absolutely been men who have been killed by women who couldn't let go, but it's rare. And by rare, personally, I mean, I've never heard it. You know, I mean, I've never heard a story of a man rejecting a woman and a woman killing him. Yes, I've heard stories of men being in relationships with women and breaking up with them, and the woman attempting to, kill him, or either killing him or attempting to kill him, on some thin line between love and hate stuff. But far too often we hear these stories of men killing women simply because the woman didn't want to holler at him, simply because the man got rejected. Like, I literally just went to go see Top Dog Underdog this weekend, a Broadway play, phenomenal, by the way, and it explores that. But in that situation, the person who ends up committing the heinous act of killing a woman is basically a bum. Like, dude really didn't have much to live for in the play, so I understand why he had a fragile ego. But Darius Miles, man, not only is this real life, but you was playing basketball for the University of Alabama. He had a future. I don't know how he ends up in this situation, but that's what makes this stuff scary, because you never know. The construct and durability of male egos, okay? They are all different for each person with a penis, meaning that what affects them and how they're affected differs from person to person. But if your ego is that fragile, please recognize it and find a way to fix it. It's several ways you can strengthen a fragile ego, but it's going to take some insight developing activities. What are insight development activities? Well, you can't know what those are without knowing what insight development is, okay? The recognition that, one has a mental illness, or suffering from some type of mental health issues, awareness, basically, the ability to relabel unusual mental events, delusions and hallucinations as pathological, and the recognition of the need for treatment. That's the most important part, the recognition of the need for treatment once you're aware that something is wrong. Now, how do you do insight development activities? How about start with some positive self-talk? How about start with some self-reflection? How about journaling? How about positive affirmations? How about what I've been telling y'all to do for years? Go to therapy. Sit down with a therapist or psychiatrist and deal with your trauma before your trauma ultimately deals with you. What makes this situation with Darius Miles so sad is he was actually doing great things with his life. He was playing basketball for the University of Alabama. He just played this past Saturday when they beat LSU. This man, at the least, was going to graduate from the University of Alabama, but he threw his whole future away for what? For lack of emotional intelligence, because of a fragile ego? Now, listen, it's still allegedly, but the young lady's mother said it was because she rejected his advances. I must say, salute to the young lady's boyfriend who defended himself and shot back and hit one of the suspects. But I wish he wasn't even in that position, because he only had to return fire because someone's fragile ego decided to shoot at a young lady in the first place. What happened to back in the day when you got rejected by a woman? You just said to yourself, I'm going to put myself in a position financially where no woman is going to want to reject me. That's what it used to be. You got dissed by a chick, you got your weight up, okay? Became successful. Mike Jones wrote a hit song about it. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Okay, Jay-Z on Song Cry said, women used to tell their friends I was ugly and wouldn't touch me. Then I showed up in that dubbed out buggy. Getting dissed used to motivate men to greatness. Hell, if you believe the Facebook movie, what was it called? The Social Network. Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook because the woman he wanted didn't want him. All I'm saying is I come from an era where, for the most part, men turned rejection into revenue. Okay, getting rejected was exactly the motivation they needed to be successful. But this era seems to use rejection as motivation to be murderers. Please, my brothers, please, I'm begging you, go to therapy. Do the work on yourself. The life you save will be your own, and it will absolutely save the life of others. Please give Darius Miles and Michael Lynn Davis the biggest hee-haw.
So damn sad.
Sad, man. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace to Jonae Harris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lord have mercy.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today.
Yes.
Now, when we come back, we were having a conversation earlier about funerals.
Yeah, and everybody grieves differently. It came out of the situation with DJ Paul. I guess people were getting at him online for not attending Gangsta Boo's funeral.
Correct.
And I'm a person who does not attend funerals.
Me neither.
I can't do it. I will not do it, just because that is not the last memory I want to have of somebody that I love.
Understand that. But, going to the very few funerals that I've been to, thank God, it's also a time of celebration, right? You get to talk and hear stories about that individual. So you don't necessarily think about the last time you see or the last moments in that casket. You think about all the great things that person did. And the last funeral I went to was Gia's mom, who passed away last year. And before that, I haven't been to a funeral in a long time because I don't do funerals. But it was so good just to hear other family members and friends that you don't know talk about some of the greatness that she's done and some of the things that she did and the funny stories and this, that, and the other. Those are the moments I remember.
I can get that without the funeral.
But after you've done so many, like I've been to so many funerals, I did get to a point where I said, you know what? That's it. Now I send flowers. I send my condolences. Like I said,
not even family though?
No, my stepmom just passed. I didn't go to her funeral. My Uncle Bob just passed. I forgot about that. Didn't go to that. Now my dad is really sick and everybody's pressuring me like, your dad's really sick and, he's probably going to die soon. Are you going to come? I'm not going.
Really? Your dad?
Yeah, I'm the same.
Jesus.
I'll pay for the funeral. You know what I mean? I'll send flowers, but showing up, ooh.
But even like your dad's funeral, you wouldn't want to speak at your dad's funeral?
No. Well, I mean, we're at a place where, and I'm at a place at peace with my dad, but we just don't have that relationship anymore. And there was no falling out. I just came to a place in my life where I felt like there were things that he should have done that he didn't do. And so I just kind of wrote that off.
All right, well, let's talk about it. 800-585-1051. How do you feel about funerals? Do you go? Do you not go? Do you stay away from them? Do you think you should go to show your respect? Let's talk about it. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey Today is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.